started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
Hello, gamers.
Hello?
Hello?
Gamers?
Welcome to See Girls Make Do. I'm Alex, and I'm your little Manhattan bitch.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm Sue Stanford, the ghost realtor.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. It's been the same amount of time for you guys. It feels like it's been years for us, and I know we say that all the time.
Well,
but
it's been eons because we recorded early last week with Sarah and we're recording later this week with us.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's been so long.
And we're millennials. We don't have a good gauge on time. Things could have happened fucking months ago for all we know, and it happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about season 4, episode 5, Ghost Town. So we're getting a bit paranormal. Welcome to the last podcast on the left.
I'm scared. There's a ghost. It's like the show knew that we were entering into September, which is ghost season, and we were right on schedule. I mean, everyone sort of considers
October to be the 1st of October is it's Halloween now. Nuh-uh. If you're listening to the show, that means you're a fan of me. And because I was born a goth and I had porcelain dolls as a child, you should celebrate Halloween 1st of September, because September's my month.
It is your month because you were born 23 years ago from very soon from now. So not today, but...
Not today, 2 weeks from the day this is out. Actually, if we release on Sundays, then it'll come out on my birthday, an episode, so...
I can't believe everyone's getting you as a present on your birthday.
What do I get? Oh, my lovely, lovely listeners. I love you all very much. Should we talk about the episode? I feel like we're just trailing off topic.
I think we could. It's season 4, episode 5, Ghost Town. And New York is pretty terrifying. It turns out that there's ghost ghouls and also an actual ghost in Miranda's apartment, not just their boyfriends.
Yeah, their boyfriends are ghouls, though. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, although we don't see the head honcho ghoul this week. Mr. Big Ghoul isn't here, thank God.
Yeah, it didn't get too spooky.
Yeah. No, they're saving the real scary shit for October.
But yeah, we start with Miranda getting her morning coffee. And obviously we have our Carrie voiceover, and she's saying that there are a lot of scary things in New York, but nothing scarier than running into your ex before you even had your morning coffee.
True. Don't even consider running into me if you're my ex and I haven't had my coffee yet.
Yeah, she runs into Steve.
Yeah, he's like, Miranda, I'm scary now. And she's kind of spooked, but she's trying to play it cool. He's opening a bar. Good for him.
Yeah, controversial opinion. I really like Steve this episode.
I liked him this episode too, even though I feel like the bar logo that they had was
it was
kind of shit.
It was the Descendants logo, if he had a dog.
Yeah, it was kind of what if we tried to make lazy doodle kind of chic, but it's not because we're doing it on purpose, it's because we can't do anything better.
Yeah. But it was very 90s. It was very post-punk.
True. Well, I mean, Steve's as punk as they get, so.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, he's there and he's like, I'm opening a bar. You should come to the opening. It'd be so cool. And Miranda's like, yeah. And then his girlfriend comes out and she says, oh yeah, we would really love if you came. And Miranda has a mental breakdown on the phone to Carrie.
I kind I feel like they purposely cast someone who, like, also had kind of short hair to kind of be like, oh, she's kind of like Miranda, too.
Well, she's like 6 foot tall.
She is very tall. Yeah, she's tall and she's blonde. She's not a redhead.
No, she's very tall. She's like model-esque. I think she probably is a model.
Yeah, probably.
She's very pretty too. And she doesn't really act. Like,
Yeah,
she has
really.
one line and she never shows up again. So,
It's fine.
but she's very tall and pretty, and I love to see her. But yeah, Miranda calls Carrie in the morning. Carrie's woken up, and she's like, "Oh, you know." Carrie basically says like, "Well, Carrie doesn't really say anything, actually."
Not really, but she's just kind of like, you should go, because Miranda's like, I'm allowed to just not go, right? Like, I don't need to go to my ex's bar opening, and Carrie's like, no, you have to go, you're supposed to be friends, right? And that's like pretty much all she adds to the conversation. Like, that's it, other than Miranda also is kind of just, she kind of goes off for a bit about how, like, when they were together, Steve didn't do anything, and now that they're, like, broken up, he's, like, opening a bar, which was her idea, and, like, doing all this stuff.
Which, I mean, is kind of true. Like, he didn't really do much. And, like, that was the whole problem, was that she's very career-focused and ambitious, and he wasn't. And obviously now that he is setting up his own sort of career in a longer longevity situation, you know, that's a lot to think about. And Carrie's just really no-selling it, which is a bit rude. And I'm like, she doesn't actually have to go. If it's still painful to see someone, then don't see them.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're not obligated. Like, it's not gonna kill him if you don't show up. Like, he probably won't even notice if it's a big opening and there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. He might be a little bit hurt, but then even if you just do the adult thing and you just say, I think it would be a little bit awkward, or I already had, even lie, say you already had plans.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not that unbelievable.
No.
And Carrie even says that, like, she'll go with her. So.
But then we get a smash cut to the girls at brunch. And Carrie pulls down the invitation, slams it down on the table, and it says, Steve Brady and Aidan Shaw. So yeah, Aidan, turns out Aidan's a silent partner. And it's also his bar, which he's not a silent partner if he's putting his name on it.
And that's what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, literally just, and I feel like silent partner kind of just implies that all you're doing is like putting money into it. But he's like clearly done a lot of work for this entire thing. Like, what has Steve done? Like, out of the two of them, Steve is the one who seems to have not done anything.
When they go to the bar later on in the episode, it's very clear that like Aidan had a part in designing the interiors, which makes sense because he's a carpenter. So like, he obviously isn't a silent partner if he had anything to say and do about it. Like,
yeah, and he seems like the one who had like savings and money, who's like able to actually put money into this. Whereas like, I think Steve's just there.
Steve, I guess, has the experience of working in bars for a long time, and Aidan has the money, but like, so it makes sense from like a business point of view, but that's not what a silent partner means.
No.
So Carrie's obviously like, I'm not going because I didn't agree to go and see my ex-boyfriend who I cheated on, so I'm not going. And well, Miranda's like, oh, you're a bad friend, blah, 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 blah. And I guess turning Carrie's argument against her of, being friends with your ex, quote unquote. Yeah,
well, she is being a hypocrite. Like, it was like literally one scene ago where she was like, yeah, just go, you're friends. And it's like,
I mean, I guess it ended worse in Carrie's case.
Yeah, Carrie's was very different. They did kind of run into each other like that one time and things were okay. They seemed kind of normal, and he had like a new girlfriend or whatever, and I don't know. But yeah, Carrie's just like, nope, not gonna do it. And so Samantha says she'll go because she could use a night away from Maria, because like all they do is take baths and talk about their feelings, which is like, I mean, just what Charlotte says is like, that's just a relationship.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. Like, as a single person, I would love to take baths. Also, my new house doesn't have a bath, so I might kill myself. Like,
no, that's so sad.
I know. I've just been sitting down in the shower. Like, I can't
Yeah.
I can't wash myself standing up. Like, who the fuck do you think I am?
No, that's awful.
So yeah, I would love a bath and I would love to talk to someone. And, you know, be cute.
I just, like, don't understand Samantha in this episode. Well, I don't understand her for the most part in this episode because, like, the very next scene, her and Maria are going out together. And Maria's just like, we could be at home right now. We could be taking a bath. We could just be doing nothing and not at this bar. And I'm like, this is literally me when I go anywhere.
Like, I mean, I sort of see both sides because, you know, I'm an ambivert, I suppose. Like, I like to go out. But at the same time, I do love baths. They're really fun.
It's true. And I feel like you do need a good mix. Like, if all they've been doing is staying at home, it's like, yeah, you should probably go out and do something.
Yeah.
But
and you're still
I definitely
together.
get it. Yeah, exactly. But when they're at the bar, all these guys start coming up to Samantha and flirting with her and just, like, start chatting her like they clearly know her and everything. And Maria's just kind of like, who the fuck are all of these men? Like,
well, it's not even that they know her. Like, they're asking her out. Like, the bartender says to her, oh, I finish at 4. Which, finishing at 4 a.m., I don't have time for that.
No,
and then,
that's awful.
Yeah, that is how I remember my friend once said, like, oh, there's a job opening at my place of work. And I was like, oh, cool. What are the times? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's 9 till 4. And I was like, in the morning? 4 in the morning is when I would leave work? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, no.
Yeah, no, that's a horrible. Like, I'm a night person, and I would way rather work, like, 4 in the morning as a start time than get off work at 4 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Who's still out at bars at 4 in the morning? Like, that is horrifying to me.
I couldn't. I mean, I need money. Donate to the Patreon, but, like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I could not. Anyway.
I don't get it.
But yeah, so one guy's like, this is when I finish, meet me after. Another guy comes up to them called Sean, and he's flirting with Samantha quite heavily. And it's like, we should meet up sometime. And Samantha's like, yeah, and doesn't introduce Maria to him.
Yeah.
To the point that Maria has to say, oh, we have plans Saturday just to get this guy away from her. Like, she's not even looking at Maria, not talking about her, not saying, oh, I'm with someone. And, you know, she's obviously feeling slighted.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, it's just, it is uncomfortable. I don't know. Especially when it's, like, to the degree that, like, the bartender who's like, I'm off at 4, he, like, gives them free drinks and stuff like that. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it.
It's definitely a different vibe of, like, you know, if I was working in a bar and my friend came in, I might give him a free drink. He's not a friend, you know? No. He's an ex. So, yeah, Maria's pissed off. And then we go to Charlotte, and she is bed shopping, I suppose.
I guess. Yeah, they want to get a new bed because I guess currently the one that they have is super, super firm and Charlotte hates it. And, like, it's clearly very picked out by Bunny. And
couldn't be me. I love a firm mattress.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be too soft or too firm. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a happy medium. But, like, basically she's, like, waiting for Trey to show up and then Bunny shows up, that's a, you know, a red flag. I don't like that. And
about once a year, though, I sleep on my floor just because it's, like, really hard and I quite like it.
I am the kind of person who doesn't really need a pillow that much just because, like, I don't really care how hard the bed is that much, but it's kind of just like I don't want my head too elevated because it's just uncomfortable on my neck. So, like, I can fully just sleep with my head, like, on the bed.
I have, like, one of those, like, curvy ergonomic pillows, and I just have that, and it's like...
Oh, that fucking rules.
My neck has never been better.
I need one of those because I sleep, like, on my side and stomach a lot, and so it's not very good for my neck.
No.
So I need that, but...
Would recommend. But yeah, so the mattress, or not even mattress shopping, like bed frame shopping, I suppose, and then getting a mattress after, which makes sense. But Bunny's all like, oh, you know, she wants to get all these old fashioned beds. She needs to have a dust cover. I don't know what that is.
What the fuck is this dust cover thing?
Like a dust ruffle?
That?
I think, you know, like, in hotels where they have like a banner at the bottom, like the feet of the bed.
Yeah.
I guess so it's there so it collects the dust off the floor and you don't see the sort of the unsightly under the bed. And then you can just wash it and put on another one.
But then how am I supposed to see my cats?
Exactly. And Charlotte's like, well, a lot of the modern beds don't need dust ruffles. And Bunny's like, no. You need to have like this old-fashioned mahogany bed, extra firm mattress. I don't know why this show hates firm mattresses. Can't relate.
Like,
can you not fuck on a firm mattress or something?
I'm sure it's fine, but Charlotte hates it. And
she does hate it.
A Trey does show up, and then Bunny like lies down on this really firm bed, and she's just like, "Oh, this is absolutely perfect." And Trey lies down on it with her, and they're like, "Charlotte, you gotta try it out." And it's like, it's a bed.
Yeah, and then so the three of them are lying on the bed with Trey in the middle. It's very Oedipal. That's with
the symbolism.
OE. Mm-hmm. Do you get it? Freudian.
I think I get it.
And so yeah, they're all lying in the bed, and Charlotte's like, "Okay, this is ridiculous. Like, what's going on? I don't get it." Like, Charlotte's very open with the fact that she's just not like Bunny.
I don't blame her because Bunny's the fucking worst. Like, it's just like mostly it's just, I don't know how, I just feel like Charlotte knew from so long ago that she was dating a man whose mother was, the relationship him and his mother have is fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she expected because, like, she's known about this since before they got married, that she's a fucking weirdo about her son.
I mean, okay, I think mommy issues are, like, worse than daddy issues. Because everyone has this thing of, like, oh, that girl's got daddy issues. And like, yeah, okay, I do. All right, I have a lot of issues with my father. I've spoken about it to my therapist. Calm down. But because men don't go to fucking therapy, they don't address their issues with their mother, and they're so much worse.
There's so much shit going on here where it's like, he cannot make a single decision himself. Like, she makes every call, every shot in his life is Bunny's decision. And he's just like, you know best, mother. And I'm a 12-year-old, 50-year-old. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, it's the old thing. It's like I said previously, men want a mother they can fuck. Obviously, this isn't all men. But there are definitely men who want someone who will just cook and clean and run around after them. And then suck their dick at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's Trey. Trey's never had to do anything for himself. He doesn't know how to. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're a fucking... You spent 8 years in medical school.
Yeah, it's fucking wild to me that someone can be like a doctor where you're like, you have to know so many things, and yet he can't do fucking anything. It's so stressful to me. And Bunny just like loves it. Like, she thrives on controlling everything that he does. And Charlotte's just like, what the fuck? Just let us pick out our own goddamn bed. Like, you're not the one sleeping in it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, I get it. I'm a Virgo, but also if I have a son, like, he's on his own. I'm not doing that shit.
Well, it's like, learn how to do your own shit and just buy what you like.
Isn't parenting like preparing your child for the world? Like, shouldn't that be what parenting is?
It's supposed to be, but yeah, it's clearly not what happened here. No. So, but then we go to Miranda, and she's in her bed with her cat, and we still don't know this cat's name. She calls it Fatty again, which she called it last time too, I think.
I think his name is Fatty.
Okay. It's not even a very fat cat, but...
No. It's fluffy.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, fat.
No.
Also, don't fat shame your cat.
True. He's perfect.
I mean, like, you could be fat and perfect, but maybe don't make it into a nickname.
It's a little bit weird, but...
Yeah. But then she's cuddling with Fatty, and then she's like, do you hear that too, boy? Like, it gets very Lassie. There's, like, a banging upstairs, and she decides there's a ghost.
Yeah, she makes this call, I guess, which is like, has she never lived in a building before?
Well, yeah, so it goes quite quickly. We spend like 30 seconds on this, and then it goes straight to the dinner that they're having with the girls. And Miranda says, oh, the weird thing is that no one lived upstairs. Which, like, have you never heard of house settling?
Yeah, buildings just make noise. That's just what they do. Like, did you not learn this when you were like 8?
It's fucking like pipes or a boiler or something. Jeez. Like, because I mean, I'm someone who does believe in, you know, paranormal things. With a pinch of salt, I'm kind of, you know, I'm like, yeah, I believe stuff happens. But there's nothing else. It's not like, oh, you know, it gets really cold in my room, or there's strange smells, or something's off. Like, she's just like, I felt a presence, and there was a noise. And
that's it.
Yeah.
But like, the other girls do seem to kind of believe her. Like, Charlotte's like, yeah, my grandma had a ghost once until she told it to leave.
And her other claim is that, oh, Fatty heard it too, which, yeah, it has ears.
Cats hear everything. I don't understand. Like, it could have like, my cats will just turn their head because they saw a thing on the wall. Like, it doesn't have to be from a noise. I remember I read this book. I had this because like I said, I was a goth child. And I had a book that was all about like paranormal stuff. And I remember in it said that pets, animals, and young children could sense ghosts and paranormal stuff. And like, there are cases of dogs and cats like getting really freaked out for no reason, but the cat just looked, heard something. Like, it's not like it's like it went on edge and everything spiked up, and it's like it was in panic mode for no reason at all. Yeah. Plus, this is like the first time this has ever happened. Like, and she's lived there for 2 years, and I also really hate that the story never really gets resolved at the end. Like, they end up making it like about symbolic ghosts more than anything, not about like actual ghosts. So I would love though. What if it turned into like a paranormal show, like Buffy? That would be really fucking good.
Was it? Was it Felicity that was like randomly there was time travel? For no reason. It was just like a normal teens show, and then they were like, okay, now we're gonna have time travel in season 3.
I don't know, but that's really good. I mean, Lost did that, but Lost was already like a supernatural kind of weird show, so it wasn't that weird that they put time travel into it. But
I would just love if there's like, no, I'm a ghost, and it's an old man that died in her apartment, and now they're friends.
That would be really good. But like, I don't know. The other girls think they can just tell it to leave because, like, Charlotte's like that, and then Samantha says a ghost took me in Switzerland. And she says she knows how to handle ghosts, like, and how you're supposed to just ask it to leave and it'll go away or something. Yeah. Miranda then thinks that she tells Charlotte that it's discrimination. That Charlotte is like, oh, I used to be scared until I moved in with Trey. And she's like, so I'm getting haunted because I'm single? This is discrimination. I'm being discriminated against.
Well, she's a lawyer. I guess phone the ACLU. I like the idea of just telling the ghost to leave. Like, that's what happened at the end of The Exorcist. They're like, okay, can you go?
Okay, we're done here.
Yeah. Can you leave my house? Like, I'm sorry. You've been really rude. My daughter's been crawling up and down the stairs backwards, vomiting everywhere. You've made a huge mess. Can you go? And then the demon's just like, yeah, sorry.
My bad.
I'll leave. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'll pay for all the damages. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is no resolution to this plot line. It's stupid. I guess we should move on.
Yeah, Carrie then goes and asks her question. We see that she still has the chair that Aidan made for her, so it's like, even though you're not really there, it's kind of like the ghost of him is still there, you know? The Ghost of You by My Chemical Romance.
I was just about to say that!
And then she goes to sit at her computer and type up her question, which is just like, are we haunted by the spirits of relationships past? So.
And then Carrie turns into a World War II soldier storming Normandy and dies.
God, I wish she did.
Oh my God. That is I vividly remember watching that video for the first time and crying.
Oh my God.
Like, I think I was also learning about World War II, like, at school at the time, and I was just having an emotional moment.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is art, and I was not wrong.
You weren't wrong. Everything My Chemical Romance has ever put out has been high art, and I'm not going to hear anything to the contrary. So,
Like, do you remember the first time, have you seen the video of that guy listening to, is it Dead? Yeah, Dead. The one with Liza Minnelli at the end, and just going through it. Like,
yeah.
I think it's the first time they've ever heard it, and they're like, oh shit, this is the best song ever. And
It is!
yeah, Liza Minnelli shows up. It's fucking great.
God, I love My Chemical Romance so much.
Me too. But yeah, that's the question. It's stupid. I realize we don't have much Carrie this episode, which I really like.
Like, there's not much, but she's still there for enough of it that I'm kind of like...
Like a ghost.
It kind of it seems to focus the most on Samantha, and then, like, kind of the same on Miranda and Charlotte, and then the least on Carrie, I guess, so...
That was pleasant.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then we cut to Samantha and Maria in the bath. We get a double tea tally.
We do! And Maria's just, like, sponging her from behind.
Yeah, this isn't how you wash. You're not going to exfoliate shit if you're just, like, gently sponging.
Yeah, it doesn't look very comfy. I don't know, just, like... The idea of sitting in a bathtub with someone else is, like, it looks like it's nice, but in reality, it's just, like, unless the bathtub's really big, this bathtub is not big enough for the two of them. Like,
No.
Half of their bodies are not even in the fucking water. That's why there's a titty tally. That is not a nice bath. If you're taking a bath, you want to be submerged to your fucking neck. Like, this just doesn't look nice.
You want your chest wet or else you're going to get cold.
Yeah.
I remember I've never been in a bath with someone. Well, I did when I was a child, but like I've never been in a romantic bath with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember my parents used to take baths all the time together.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was probably like 5, so I just walked in and was like, "What's good?" I didn't, because like when you don't realize your parents are trying to do something romantic, and I was hey, can I have some fucking biscuits or whatever? And they were like, yes, go away. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, they used to have baths together all the time, which I don't understand because my dad is 6'4".
That is too big to be in a bathtub.
Especially with someone else. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they would bathe all the time. And I don't really get it. Like, I don't know. But yeah, they're in the bath together. I guess they're both sort of a normal size, but it doesn't look super comfy. They're also all like kind of in a fetal position, but sitting. Like, they don't look very comfortable. It seems like a good idea before you get in. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they get in there and they're like, I regret everything. Which is pretty much what happens because they end up having a pretty shit time in the bath together.
Yeah, so Maria kind of broaches the subject and she's like, so who were those guys at the bar? And Samantha says, oh, well, they were just some guys I fucked. And Maria's like, how many men have you slept with? And Samantha's like, well, how many women have you slept with? And Maria says 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Samantha just... her face drops.
She's like, oh.
Well, Maria's like, have you slept with more than 12 women? And more than 12 men? Samantha's like, maybe. And Samantha basically, I mean, she doesn't say that she's missing dick. She kind of hints at it. And Maria gets a little bit pissed off.
Yeah, she also kind of is just like... I don't know, like, you can see the look on Samantha's face, and, like, I've been in situations before where I know I've made this exact same face before, like, not the same situation, but where you're kind of just like, I'm gonna burst into flames if this person keeps talking to me anymore about this current subject. And she is so tired of like, this emotional discussions and feelings and talking and everything, and she basically just, like, she's like, okay, I think I'm clean now, and gets up and leaves the bath.
And, like, I get it, because obviously, you want to have those conversations with someone, but not all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of seems like they do nothing but that kind of thing. And I don't know, she's just very tired of talking, and I don't think, I mean, later on she mentions that their relationship hasn't really been very sexual, I guess, and it's Samantha, right? Like, that's
yeah. I
not
mean, they probably
cool with her.
It probably is pretty sexual, just not enough for Samantha because she has a high sex drive. And I mean, that's, the issue is just they're not compatible in a couple of ways.
Yeah, exactly. Then we go back to another couple that is
not compatible.
slightly more compatible, but also incompatible. Charlotte and Trey are together, and Charlotte's kind of just like, did Bunny design this entire apartment, like this entire place? Which she did.
Like, yeah, she does all of our houses. Like, I guess the entire family. And then Charlotte's like, oh, there are fake ducks everywhere. And
plaid shit everywhere.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like fucking dark and ugly and not. They have such a huge, nice apartment, and it's all fucking dark and dank and like mahogany. Yeah,
it looks like someone who was like 80 years old designed it, which is basically what is true. And Charlotte says that they live in the Museum of Natural Ugliness, which I thought was like, that's probably the line of the episode.
Yeah. And Trey's like, okay, well, what do you want to do about it? And Charlotte's like, well, I'm your wife, so maybe like our marital home should be designed by the two of us. And Trey's like, well, I don't fucking care about interior design.
He's like, I have no taste.
Yeah. He's like, clearly I have no taste because I loved the mallards. And Charlotte's like, fine, well, I want to change stuff. So I'll talk to Bunny. And then Trey's like, nah, it's not going to go down well. I'll talk to her.
Yeah. And he says he's going to do it like tomorrow because they're supposed to have brunch with her. So it's like, okay, this will get settled nice and soon. But then the next morning, he's like sick and now he barely has a voice. He's just like in bed and can't do anything now. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. So.
He has a cold. He's not dying.
No, he looks like he's like faking it as hard as Ferris Bueller was. Like, he's just like, Mom, I think I'm dying. Like
as soon as they left the room, he was going to turn to the camera and go, suckers. Like,
they bought it.
It's so fake. It's like when I fucking stole, like when I was a kid and I like poured soup down the toilet and pretended I threw up. And then my mom was like, no, you didn't.
Oh my god.
I thought I was so smart. Jeez. How did I be so... But, like, it really is that.
Yeah, it seems like that, but at the same time, it's not like we ever find out that he was faking it. He literally just is sick, and that just seems to be the truth, which is really funny because it's so fake.
Yeah. And Bunny shows up, and she's like, oh no, my poor boy. I guess I'll stay in the guest room and look after him, which is the most bonkers fucking thing I've ever heard.
This is fucking buck wild. He is like 50 years old, and she is going to move in with them temporarily to look after him because Charlotte's so busy with the gallery. So
he has a cold. Like, if he had a terminal illness, okay.
Yeah.
He has a cold.
Yeah.
Like, if he was dying, if he had a very serious illness, or maybe he, like, fucking broke both his legs or some shit. Like, he couldn't walk. But no, he just has a cold.
But clearly no. She's just like, I'm gonna make sure that our keeper person brings some broth over, and I'm gonna sit by his bedside, and it's like he has pneumonia, but really he just... yeah, he's gonna be fine. Like, it's like when I'm sick and my mom's like, oh my god, do I need to amputate your leg? And I'm like, but she's joking. So,
Exactly. It's like I feel like I turned 18, or not even 18, probably like 15 or something. Like, as soon as I was a teenager and I was ill, like, obviously when you're a child, your parents will be like, oh, I'll stay home from work today and look after you. Right? When I was probably about like 14, my mum was like, well, there's some crisps in the fridge. Like, not crisps in the fridge. That doesn't make sense. Why would you keep crisps in the fridge? She's like, there's food in the house. You know how to put a kettle on. Here's some cough medicine. You're not going to die. Like, call me if you need anything, but
exactly.
you'll live. Like, exactly, you teach your children how to fend for themselves because eventually you're going to fucking die.
Yeah. Bunny's never gonna die is the thing, so...
I don't think so. I think she might be immortal. I don't even think she's, like, necessarily his mother. She might be the original McDougal.
Oh my god, she probably is. That would be a really good reveal for this episode about ghosts.
Right? This should be the X-Files. Sex in the City.
Yes. Sex Files? Yeah.
Sex Files. That... I think David Duchovny... we had confirmed that David Duchovny does show up, so...
Yeah.
That is the Sex Files. Thank God. He needs to show up in this episode and be like, Scully, there's some ghosts. I've never seen the X-Files.
I haven't either. Then we go to Carrie, who, she's going to the bar before it opens, because, like, I guess she's decided she's not going to the opening now because she doesn't want to see Aidan, so she shows up before. It's not even open yet, but she just walks the fuck in, because why not?
Well, she says, like, she didn't want to have a public... If it did turn messy, she doesn't want to do it in public, so she'd sort of show her face, thank him for inviting her, and just go on her own way, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But just letting herself in, which is just normal, I guess. Just walking into a building that's not open.
And it's not like they're having, like, deliveries made or something. So that's why the door's opening, because they're expecting someone. Like, no one's at the bar, but the door's open anyway. Which doesn't make sense, because if I'm walking down the street and I see a bar, I would just assume it was open. So what if someone just came in? They're going to be like, oh, we're closed, but the door was open anyway? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, and she has a plant. She has a mulberry bush.
It's on Mulberry Street.
I don't know about you, but every bar I've been in has had fucking giant plants in it.
Totally. It totally fits with the decor and the theme of being named after Steve's dog. So, but I guess she got it because it's on Mulberry Street or something. So, like, that's why she got the plant. Which,
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, Aidan's not there, it seems, but Steve comes out and he's just like, oh, Gary! And she basically just explains the whole thing about how she's not coming to the opening, and she's like, I just want to thank Aidan for inviting me, and Steve's just like, oh, well.
Yeah, he does that thing where he pulls his collar and he's like, you don't know what Roblox is yet, but...
Yeah.
You know,
Aidan wasn't really the one who invited you, Carrie. It was me. And
why would she say that?
I don't know. And then Carrie suddenly just like Kill Bill siren. She's just like, oh fuck. Well, Aidan didn't even invite me. Aidan doesn't even want me here. And then we hear Aidan's voice like from the back, and Carrie just fucking guns it for the door. Like, I was expecting her to do like the episode where It's Always Sunny, where Dee like bolts out the door with the heels on and she just falls on her face. Like, I was expecting that to happen.
I was expecting what was that fucking Nicki Minaj song? It's just the meme now. It's like like when the breathing is it Roman Holiday?
I think so. I don't know. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I expected that. Like, I expected her to just be running. I expected Nicki Minaj, like, cut to come up and her just, like, Tom Cruise running out of the place. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Aidan's just like, oh, Steve, who is it? And she's like, oh, fuck, and bolts out, which is so cartoonish.
It would be really funny if she fell and broke her tooth just like Natasha did, and it was just like actual payback for all the bullshit she's put everyone in her life through.
Ugh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Bit of karma. Karmic retribution is really what the show needs.
It really, truly is. But instead, she just gets out free. And then we go to Miranda, who's sleeping, and she hears the noises again. So she cannot sleep because she's afraid of the ghosts in her house. And so she calls Carrie for company at like 2 a.m. And Carrie comes over. It's kind of nice, though. Like, it's nice because they're just sitting in bed eating Oreos, which is like kind of ideal. Just having like a sleepover with Oreos.
Yeah, it's a mood. And I mean, Oreos, vegan snack. We love an Oreo.
True. I love Oreos. They're good shit. But it turns out Charlotte can't sleep either because her house is also haunted, but it's haunted by Bunny.
Old white ladies.
This scene terrified me. This was like out of a fucking horror movie. I hated this scene so much. I forgot about it till now.
I'm very excited for It Chapter 2. I feel like this is scarier than anything that will be in that movie. Because this bitch, oh my god, it's so fucking scary. What was that movie? Was it The Visit with the scary old people? Like,
I don't know. But
there are a lot of movies with scary old people.
It's true.
So, yeah, Charlotte's asleep, Trey's asleep, and Bunny just walks into their bedroom, turns on the light, and starts rubbing Vicks on Trey's chest.
While he's fully asleep. And Charlotte just, like, wakes up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Not even, I was asleep, motherfucker, which is what I would say. She's like, what are you doing? And Bunny's like, oh, I found some vapor rub. I was just rubbing on his chest. And Charlotte's like, I just gave him some NyQuil. Like, he's fine. I guess the NyQuil is the reason why he's passed out.
Yeah, he's not waking up.
He does not wake up at all during the scene. And Bunny's like, oh, that won't do it. That just makes him fall asleep. That's not going to clear the phlegm. Which, okay, I know I'm telling a lot of stories. I had asthma as a kid, so I would get sick all the time, and my dad would just, like, slather Vicks vapor rub on my chest to the point that I would cry because I hated it so much.
Oh my god. I do like it, but I don't use it very often.
I'm traumatized by Vicks vapor rub, which is...
I am
not
now,
good.
after watching this episode.
I was already traumatized, so it didn't really hit me as hard, but I could smell it. Watching the scene, I could smell it. It was horrible.
I do like the smell of it, but...
I hate it.
Then Charlotte's like, well, if anyone should be doing this, it should be me, because I'm his wife. And then, so she starts, like, rubbing on his chest, and then... I don't know. She's like, I'm his wife. Like, just let me do this myself. And then she goes to leave, and then Charlotte just tells her off, which is really good. I really liked Charlotte in this episode.
First of all, Charlotte's rubbing it on his tummy, and Bunny's like, that's not going to do shit. It needs to be on his chest.
That's true.
But then, did you see Kyle's abs?
Yeah. Sure did.
Dale Cooper is cut. Like, Homeboy's going to get it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Charlotte's like, you can't disturb my marriage like this. You can't just come into my bedroom, into our bedroom, and wake me up, and he's not a child anymore. And Bunny's like, you can change the apartment however you like, but I will always be here.
Yeah, it's a little bit horrifying.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting, like, pure fucking, like, misery. Like, she's gonna put her sledgehammer to his ankle in about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Bunny's the worst possible idea of mother-in-law that you could ever have. I think so.
Yeah, she is terrifying. I mean, a grown woman that wears ribbons in her hair is an issue.
Yeah, like, I get that she's just old-fashioned, but, like, I don't know, she's a parody of herself.
You're not a 14-year-old in the 50s.
Yeah. And whose name is Bunny? I still, like, I know that she's been on the show for, like, a season now, or season and a half now, but, like, why is her name Bunny? Yeah.
I mean, like I said... Bugs? You insulted my friend Bunny. Bunny? Who's Bunny? Bugs?
Yeah. Like, every time I think about that meme, I just think about the one person who thought that Phoenix Wright's name was Ace Attorney. My friend Ace Attorney?
I did post on Tumblr because, like, I literally said to my dad, oh, like, okay, Paddington Bear, because he was eating marmalade.
Yeah, I saw that.
And as soon as he said Paddington, he was like, Paddington? I went, bear? And it was so funny to me and me alone. I really wish, like, all my mutuals could be there to watch that moment.
Everyone clapped, yeah.
And everyone clapped, and then the homeless person did Gangnam Style.
Yeah. It's good. Then we go to Samantha and Maria again. And, okay, so another pair gets their sleep broken up. They're sleeping and then they get a banging on their door. Some guy's there. It's like this random guy, Sean, who really just wants to fuck. And Samantha's like, how did you get in my building, first of all?
And he's like, oh, well, your code's still the same. Which, how are you remembering people's fucking codes? It took me like a year to remember my PIN number.
Yeah, I don't understand. Especially when it's like a person that I'm pretty sure he only slept with a few times. It's not even like, and she probably like let him in half of those times too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either it's also weird when you just go into someone's building unannounced without calling and you're like banging on their door at 2 a.m, but it's fine, I guess.
It's a very creepy thing to do. But Samantha's like, yeah, go away.
Yeah, this isn't a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Maria comes out and she's just like, yeah, I'm her girlfriend. Please leave.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, maybe you two ladies could make me a sandwich.
Which is just like a parody of itself. Like,
I'm so used to like the, oh, make me a sandwich meme that I was like, is he being a misogynist? And then I clocked that he's like, no, I want a threesome. Which, come on, dude.
Oh, true. I didn't think of that until you said it.
Well, you can't ask for a random like if you're having a threesome, it needs to be planned.
Yeah, no, this sounds just terrible.
Yeah.
But they're just like, no, and they just close the door on his face. Then he's just like still banging on the door, and Maria yells at him to go away. She calls him a motherfucker, which I really liked.
Yeah, she is not having it, which I'm with her. And Samantha's like, Samantha says, oh, you didn't have to do that. And obviously Maria's pissed because, again, all these ghosts are coming out of Samantha's relationship, I suppose, or her former relationships. And she's like, that guy literally only wanted sex. He didn't want to talk to you. He didn't care about anything. He just wanted to have sex with you, and you're okay with that? And Samantha's like, yeah. Because
she's just like, have you met me?
Yeah, she's like, well, I enjoy sex. And, Samantha is clearly not offended by it. I probably would be, just because, like, don't interrupt my sleep pattern.
Yeah.
If you want a booty call, then call me. Don't just show up. Don't make the trip all the way here.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's kind of just like, I'm definitely Maria in this situation. Like, I understand where Sam's coming from, and I think it is kind of more normal for her to kind of just have someone show up like that, I guess. But I don't know.
I do slip into like rage when my sleep is broken up. Like, my former neighbors would just party all the time. Actually, no. I woke up at 7 o'clock to reggae blasting, and I think I could have stabbed someone. Like, I was so fucking mad. So I get it.
Awful. Yeah. I can sleep through pretty much anything, so if someone was banging on my door, I'd probably just stay asleep.
I would be like, well, I'm gonna get murdered, so...
Yeah, it's like, I'm fine. If you kill me, at least I'm dying in my bed.
It's true.
But yeah, this is where everything blows up with Samantha and Maria now, which is a lot.
Women be crazy.
Watch. You know how women are.
Yeah. So Samantha says, like, I want passion. I don't want to have these emotional conversations all the time. I like to have sex, and we used to have sex, but now we don't. And Maria's like, oh, you want passion? And start smashing plates. Because you get it. Fiery Latinas. And lesbians. And women be crazy.
Yeah. It truly is so out of character and absolutely fucking wild to watch. It's like, this doesn't seem realistic at all, but she's smashing plates, so.
Yeah, and like.
Sure.
Sam seems to be, like, actually upset and by the whole thing, so it's uncomfortable to watch. Like, she's kind of just like, holy shit, stop, like, you're freaking me out a bit. And Maria's like, you don't even cook, because she's smashing the plates. Yeah,
which is like, true.
True, but maybe don't destroy people's property.
It's true, especially at 2 a.m. when you live like in an apartment building and there's other people who live below you. Like me,
Yeah.
who don't.
It's wild. But then after that, and it just sort of, we leave them, and I thought they were going to have like sex afterwards, and that would be the thing, but no. They'd be like, oh, like Samantha's really turned on by it or something, but no.
Yeah, no, she doesn't like it. So that's all we see for the scene. And then we just move on to Carrie and Miranda, who are still just kind of hanging out in bed talking super late because they can't sleep. We don't even get any reference of Carrie being like, there's clearly no fucking ghost, or there is a ghost. There's no talk about the ghost anymore. They're only talking about boys now. So I guess this is the point where the ghost story becomes non-existent and everything just, that's, the story just is unresolved. We don't get any really nice conclusion. I wanted a ghost conclusion. I wanted a supernatural.
I want Slimer. I want, like, I want one of the Harry Potter ghosts. I want some shit, you know?
Yeah, just fucking anything. Because, like, it just seems so stretched out and contrived when they, like, make the entire thing. When they try to, like, pull the ghost of your past thing, like, over and over and over again about their exes. It's like, we get it. Why did you have to make an actual ghost story if you weren't even going to follow through and make it about actual ghosts?
Yeah. So, yeah, they're talking, and obviously Carrie feels a bit guilty about how it ended with Steve, and she's, you know, talking to Miranda, and she asks Miranda if she still has any sort of unresolved feelings with Steve. Wait, no. Carrie still feels guilty about how it ended with Aidan, and she's asking Miranda if she still has any unresolved feelings about Steve.
And Miranda says she doesn't think so, which, I don't know. The way she's acting about the whole Steve thing, it's kind of like, are you sure? But she seems to say no for now, and Miranda asks Carrie if she's the same, and Carrie's like, I don't know. I don't think so, but who can never be sure? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So then and I think Miranda kind of convinces her to actually come to the party.
Yeah, I don't even know what she said that convinced Carrie, but she does go home and sit in the Aidan chair, which looks very comfy. I really want this Aidan chair.
It does. It's so big. Like, it looks lovely. I want to climb in it.
Yeah, me too. Then Trey wakes up feeling better, and he wakes up feeling so much better that him and Charlotte are just like straight up boning, like just first thing in the morning.
Yeah, she's like on top of him, naked, kissing him to wake him up, and they're like, okay, let's get at it.
Just fucking up and at him, and then even though Bunny left, she seems to have just let herself back in. And then she walks in with muffins, and she doesn't even knock or anything. She just walks right in, and Charlotte's like topless on top of him. And
you can't be like, you can't walk into people's rooms without knocking.
I mean, if you're Bunny, I guess you might just do it because you're Bunny.
Even a courtesy knock to like prepare yourself. She just opens the door wide.
Her reaction though.
Yeah, she freaks out, and she just sort of like, wait, what's that? What's that Simpsons episode? Is it a Homer who sees something and walks backwards the whole night?
Maybe. This is why we need Matt on the show.
This is why we need Matt. Get Matt on. Matt, go on Seagulls.
I know, right?
I think it's a newer, well, not a newer one, but like post Seasons Renaissance.
Okay.
Where Homer, I think he sees like a poo having an affair and then just walks backwards back to his house like the whole time. It's that.
I'm not sure, but.
Well, it's Homer walking into the bush then.
Yeah, I mean, that is basically what Bunny does.
Yeah. And
she's so dramatic about it.
She's so dramatic. She's like stumbling her words, like she's lost control of them. She's like, ooh. I mean, come on, you just go, oh my goodness, and close the door and get embarrassed and leave. But you don't have to.
What did she expect?
I don't know. What do you expect married couples to do?
I don't know. But she leaves, and Carrie's voiceover calls it a sexorcism because it removed Bunny for good from their house.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. So
And then we go to back to Samantha, and Maria's at her door and says, "Oh, you haven't phoned in 2 days. I was getting worried about you." And Samantha is like cool, and she says, "Oh, well, you haven't phoned me either."
Yeah.
And yeah, Maria comes in and she says that she has a present, and they're gonna make up, and the present is a strap.
She got the fucking strap out. So
it's so and Samantha's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have." And it's got a little ribbon tied around the dick.
Yeah. The thing is, when your relationship has a problem, you just fill the hole with a strap on and it's fine again. It's just plugging the hole up. It's like that one meme of like the water tank that's exploding with water, and then like but except for covering it with your hand, you just stick a strap on in it and that fixes the problem.
Oh my god. Yeah. It literally, like, I mean, I guess whatever configuration you have, because you can always peg.
Oh, yeah, totally. There's lots of things you can do with it.
There's lots of things you can do with the strap-on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a multi-use tool. It's like a Swiss Army knife.
I mean, in some ways, yeah. Hopefully not in every way. But,
I mean, I guess you can't... Like, you couldn't uncork a bottle with a strap-on, but you could cork a bottle with a strap-on.
Yeah, probably.
Technically.
There's a lot of things you could do with it.
There are.
It's versatile. Yeah.
So then we go to the bar opening. And okay, so Samantha is wearing like gold fisting gloves.
She is.
With like a giant cocktail ring on them, which is a choice. She looks like she's gonna clean a toilet. And she's walking like a robot. And Miranda and Carrie are like, "What's going on?" And she says, "I threw my back out, fucking Maria with a strap on," as you do.
I just love the idea of throwing your back out from this. Like,
I mean, it's hard work, but what is she doing? Jesus.
I do not know. But she fucked Maria with it. Maria fucked her with it. I guess they did all kinds of gymnastics with it because she can't walk now. And, but I guess it wasn't enough to fix all their problems because they broke up. So.
It didn't plug the hole in their relationship, but it might plug the hole in your relationship.
That's true. Yeah, it's not a Band-Aid you can use for everything, but.
No.
Yeah, Maria thought Samantha had relationship issues, and they're all just like, "Oh, honey, how could they say that about you?"
Well, Samantha does make a good point. She's like, "I told her I don't do relationships. Like, I let her know what she was getting herself in for."
Oh, absolutely. Like, from the very beginning, like, that was the very first thing she said to her was like, "Look, I'm not that kind of person," and yeah. Then they did it anyway, so. Yeah, then the rest of the episode is all about the stupid Carrie Aidan stuff for the most part. Well, aside from like one Steve and Miranda scene, but Carrie finally sees Aidan from across the bar and they just look at each other for a second and he's like got his shit together. Like he's all like clean cut and everything. He's got shorter hair now. Yeah?
Yeah, he's like shaved his hair down a bit. He's like Keanu in Speed.
Yeah, exactly like that. And Carrie's kind of just like, "Okay, wait, was that it?" Because they look at each other for a second and like it's not like there was a big moment or anything. She's like, "That was really anticlimactic," but okay. Yeah,
she just sort of sees him and he smiles at her and that's it. And Carrie's kind of let down. And then she's like, "Okay, that was it? Like, what did you expect?"
I don't know. Like, I don't know why she expected some, like, big emotional thing. Like, it's clearly, like, a night for him to celebrate. He's not going to go out of his way to just be like, "The fuck, why are you here? You ruined my life." Like, he's not that kind of person. I don't know what she thought, but...
Yeah. And so they're going to go get a drink, and then Steve comes up and starts talking to Miranda, and basically he just thanks her for, inspiring him to set up the bar and giving him that push that he needed.
Yeah. because it was like her idea for him and stuff, and he probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for her. So it's kind of nice that he's actually acknowledging it, and he's not being weird or anything about it. Like, he's still got his girlfriend and everything. They're super chill and really nice, and it's kind of nice to see that they're just friendly and everything. So that's the resolution to Miranda's story for the week, I guess. She barely had a story, but that's it.
I mean, what about the ghost?
What about the ghost? They just teased us.
What if she fucked the ghost, like in Scary Movie 2?
What if she did that?
This is why we should write the show.
That would be such a good episode.
Yeah. She's like, well, I've given up my vibrator because I'm fucking my ghost. And then it turns out the ghost is, like, not very good in bed.
Yeah. And she has to, like, awkwardly ask the ghost to leave, even though, like, the ghost was here first.
Yeah. But she's like, well, you paying rent? No.
Yeah. And then I guess it's like an hour later. The episode kind of ends with Carrie goes out for a smoke, and she's got like a piece of cake, and she's got like a martini glass, so she's got everything in her hands. And when she goes outside, Aidan's smoking a cigar, which I thought was like real fucking dumb, because he was such a stickler about being like, I refuse to kiss you if you've been smoking. Like, you have to quit smoking if we're gonna date. But he's smoking an entire cigar by himself, so.
Right, okay. Like, cigars smell so much.
Like,
they fucking stink.
Yeah. I like to smoke a cigar, but first of all, I cannot smoke an entire one myself because I'm not an insane person. But, like, it's smoking a cigar is like smoking a shitload of cigarettes. Like, I don't know. Like, I get that it's celebratory, but I don't know. It just seemed so out of character based off like the shit that he was written as before.
If I smoke a cigar, I would have to be wearing a 3-piece suit.
Yeah.
And since I don't own a 3-piece suit, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, and it's not, if he was smoking a blunt even, like, Aidan's definitely a pothead.
Oh, totally.
But,
yeah.
But he's smoking a cigar, and he's also doing outside, which he doesn't need to, because I'm pretty sure you could still smoke inside. Like, Harry smokes inside all the time. And Steve is smoking inside.
Yeah, true. I don't get why he wasn't smoking the cigar with Steve. You'd think that, like, you would share a cigar with, like, your business partner if you're just about to open your business or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot for one person.
I suppose so. And I guess it's meant to be, like, Aidan's changed because Carrie says, oh, please tell me you're not smoking that. Like, she's even confused as to why he's smoking a cigar. And he's like, oh, this is so weird. Okay. So.
Oh, yeah, this was fucking bizarre. What the fuck?
So he's like, oh, how much can you carry? Like, he seems like he's high. Because obviously he's holding a lot of things. I don't know what she thought, what she was going to do, how she was going to eat this cake and smoke and drink at the same time. Like, you can't eat and smoke at the same time. It's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's eating this. He's like, oh, you can't eat your cake, you don't have a hand free. So he picks it up and she's like, well, I don't want it now that your fingers have touched it. So he eats half of it and then feeds the other half to her, and it's all very sexual. And
I'm like, what are you? I don't know. I totally also missed the part where she said she didn't want to eat it because he'd been touching it. I thought he was literally just taking a bite of her cake because he was being a bastard.
Aidan is a bastard man. Why Carrie no like? But like, yeah, she's like, I don't want to touch it, and so he feeds it to her, and it's all very like sexy. And I'm like, you two haven't had an actual conversation since you broke up, but you're feeding her cake like in a sexy way when you have a girlfriend? What the fuck, dude? If I was his fucking girlfriend, if I walked into my boyfriend feeding his ex-girlfriend a slice of cake, all fucking with his fingers, nah.
Yeah, it's weird to see, and it's weird that they give like a close-up of her face when he feeds it to her. It's just, I hated seeing it. But like, thank God Steve was here. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, he says like, oh, you have frosting on your lips, and she looks it away, and then they're just staring at each other, and then Steve walks out and he's like, hey,
it's time for the toast.
So and then Aidan's like, okay, I'll see you, Carrie. And she's outside like, what the fuck? What just happened?
And now she's more haunted than ever.
Well, she does make a good point of like, okay, well, that was incredibly flirtatious. If he, you know, if he'd sort of been very formal with her and said, oh, you know, I'm not interested, just been very blank and platonic, then she could at least move on. But like, you can't. It messes with her feelings a bit if he's like, hi, Carrie, I'm gonna feed you cake. Ooh, and I'm smoking a cigar.
Yeah, it's all very bizarre. I mean, I guess on the one hand, I'm like, I don't really care what Aidan does to Carrie's feelings after how garbagely she treated him. But it's also like, just, I don't like to see it.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't make any sense, like, from a character point of view, because Aidan was obviously very hurt by what she did.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can understand him moving on, which he obviously has. But then, if he's moved on, why is he flirting with her?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't get it, but can't wait to explore this further.
I mean, Aidan is better than Big. Like, Aidan has his shitty moments, but he's not Big, so...
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, he's definitely better than Big. I just kind of wish he had higher standards and, like, just gave up on Carrie, because it's like, I don't want to go through this again. Like, I can't believe we're going to go through this exact same plot that we've already been through once. Not exact same, but it's enough the same where it's just like, I just don't care about Carrie's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the episode. So, Carrie's my bottom.
Yeah, she didn't really have much to do, and, like, I don't know, she didn't seem to be that... I don't fucking know. She didn't do anything, really. Like, I can't even be mad at her because she didn't do anything.
No, she was just boring and useless. Like, I didn't care at all about anything she was doing. Then I guess Miranda would be third because it's kind of like, I wanted Ghost, and all I got was Steve. So that's just such a letdown. You were expecting a Ghost, and you get Steve. It's just not good. And then...
No, I want a Ghost. It's Goth month. It's Goth. It's Goth season. Like, yes. Come on.
I guess I'll put Samantha second because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I knew this plot wasn't going to last long, but it was kind of just like, eh.
I definitely expected their breakup to be worse.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it was kind of handled, like, for the whole show obviously being pretty shit at, like, anything that's not cis, white, heteronormativity, you know, it handled this whole thing pretty well. And, like, it kind of... I feel like, obviously, it doesn't treat Samantha's, I guess, bisexuality as a joke.
Yeah, which is nice.
She is attracted to Maria. And, yeah, she's more attracted to men. But that doesn't invalidate her sexuality. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. There's no point where she's like, I'm just not attracted to women.
Yeah.
Which I thought there would be. So, I mean, not that bad. But, yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think it was like, it's a nice change in plot for her, I think, where normally it's kind of just like Man of the Week with her plots. So it was kind of interesting, and it was handled decently. And then Charlotte's my top this week because I just really love to see Bunny get crushed.
True. There was never any, like, question. She was like, I'm not putting up with this shit. So I do support that.
Yeah. Bunny truly is the worst.
Shall we move on to questions?
Yeah, we can do questions.
Okay, if you want to send us questions, you can send them to seagulls.tumblr.com/ask. You can also submit stuff pretty much anywhere there, you know. Oh, God. See, my house, I moved into a new house and, like, it has different sounds to the old one. So I'm spooked. I thought there was a ghost.
Like a funny ghost?
Anyway, yeah, you can also submit stuff for Steve Voice or submit stuff for the Mummy mailbag, which is going to have a bit of a retooling. I guess we'll get to that when we talk about the Patreon, but stay tuned. I mean, there's probably, 20 minutes left of the episode? Hang on tight. Yeah. Should we get to our first question? We only have one actual question this week.
True. Yeah, may as well.
Yeah. So our first question is from Tumblr user PR the Disaster, friend of the show, frequent question asker. And this is a good one. I like this question. Mm-hmm. So they asked, I was thinking about the whiteness of the show and wondering if the show got rebooted and had a premise of being more diverse, how would they inevitably fuck it up? For example, they're making a bisexual Latina Samantha and fetishizing the hell out of it. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Like, Samantha would definitely be like black or Latina or some other sort of like some other ethnicity where the women are like hypersexualized.
Yeah.
And she would be bi, and that would be a whole thing. She'd have like threesomes every fucking week.
Yeah.
Because that's what bi people be doing.
God, right? There's so many things they could fuck up by trying to be more diverse. Like, where do you even start?
I feel like maybe Charlotte would be Jewish from the jump, and there would be a lot of like, maybe she wouldn't be a wasp. Like, they're like, nah, she's gonna be Jewish, and there'd be a lot of very awkward jokes with that because they wouldn't have Jewish writers, so it'd be like very stereotypical. Either that, or she would be a total wasp and be like fucking Ben Shapiro. I mean, Ben Shapiro's not a wasp. Ben Shapiro's Jewish. Okay, well, she'd be a wasp, but she'd be fucking like a Republican, and they'd all still be friends with her for some reason. But she's just a Republican. She's Tommy Lahren. Is that her name?
They would. I'm not sure. But what they would do is they would do one of those episodes like in Queer Eye where they're like, you meet someone who's like a fucking cop, and then they have like an episode where they talk about their differences and how they're really just the same. And then it's like, that explains why they're still friends with each other, even though like she's a Republican and holds these absolutely garbage beliefs.
Like, I hate those fucking episodes where the whole time you can tell they have to like edit out one of them saying a fucking slur. Like,
yeah.
Oh, and I remember reading some interview with Tan, and he was like, yeah, they get pretty racist with me and ask like me stuff about like ISIS, and I obviously have no fucking connection to that. Because I'm just Muslim, like literally. I think he said one of them asked him why he hated America, and he was like, I don't fucking hate America. Like, I live here. What are you talking about?
That is
And
so wild.
Like, he didn't say who, but like a couple of people have said a shit to him. So I imagine they said stuff to the rest of the gang, the Fab Five.
Oh, totally.
So,
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing, like, I do enjoy the show a lot, because for the most part, like, the episodes are pretty uplifting and interesting, but, like, there are some that I just straight up skip, because you can just tell that it's the kind of person who's, like, probably just says the F slur normally when they're not around. Like,
I think it was the finale for the last season, and the guy was like, I've never had 5 gay guys in my house, and I'm like, okay. They always say that. I'm like, why? There's like, I've never had this many gay people in my house. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not counting how many fucking gay people come into my house. Like,
I know. And he's just like, yeah, I was a little bit worried about how this was going to go. I wasn't sure. I'm just like, what are you afraid of? like
literal the fear. And they come in and they're like, hello, it's very nice to meet you. We're all here to try and improve your life. And then they're just standing there like, what the fuck? Like, like Jonathan's just, making a joke or something. They're like, this is the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. There's a gay person in my house. Like,
yeah. God, I'm still losing my mind about fucking, what's his name, Karama, how he deleted his Twitter over the fucking Dancing with the Stars comments that he made. I'm just like screaming about this.
Who was the one who was like going full communist? I think it might have been Tan. But Tan is the best one.
He is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like him and Jonathan and Bobby seem to be the ones who like are the least likely to just be like, let's just get along with everybody, even if they're going to be awful to us. Whereas the other two are kind of just like, Anthony's like, there's nothing in my brain.
I mean, I was literally watching the last season. I was like, is he okay? Because he just seemed like fucking high as shit. And he was like, I'm going to teach you there would be scenes where he's like, I'm gonna teach you how to make this ethnic dish that is part of your nationality. And I'm just like, okay, dude. Or he teaches the most basic shit. He's like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to make the guacamole thing was a meme, but he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to make fucking caprese salad. And I'm like, it's 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
And it's raw.
He had those fucking outfits this season where he would have like a jacket with fake safety pins on it, and I was like, this is so much. It's so much to me.
It's like, we get it. You read The Goldfinch. Like,
yeah.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But basically, I feel like Sex and the City would be kind of like that, where it would be like, we want to still be palatable to viewers who might not be like as liberal as you'd think the viewers of this show are. And I feel like they would probably try to do something like that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Carrie would be mixed race so she can keep the curly hair.
Yeah, I feel like they could just outright make Miranda a lesbian.
Yeah, that's true. Like, why not? Like, just make Miranda a fucking lesbian. There is a point where she's asking a lot of questions about the strap, and I'm like, okay, foreshadowing.
True.
She's like, how does it work? How does this, so do you like actually strap it on? What's the harness situation like?
Yeah. I feel like they would, I feel like it would be kind of like Glee, where, you know, like, they try to make it seem like they're so open-minded and stuff, but then they have some things that are clearly extremely, like, red flag. Like, the whole thing where it was like, who was it? Like, Demi Lovato, or whose character or whatever, who is basically just like, being bisexual is fake. And it's like, okay, Ryan Murphy, thanks. But,
yeah, it would. I'm surprised we didn't, because I was expecting that the whole time this episode of Samantha to be like, oh, I'm not bisexual. Like, I mean, I guess she kind of is, even though she doesn't say it. I kind of wish she did, especially when we had the whole shitty bisexual episode.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
But yeah, there would be that episode would just happen again, like straight up, and then all the other girls would be like, Carrie, that's majorly problematic.
God, I would love that.
Carrie's on Twitter, and that's it. Carrie would literally be a Twitter personality. I want to die. Like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, she probably
just
would
thinking
be.
about the fact that Carrie would be like a Twitter personality in the 2019 version. In the reboot, and the Twitter would be called Sex and City, and that's the name of the show.
Yeah, no, I can definitely imagine that.
And she's like, my friend threw it back out with the strap, LOL, and that gets like 50,000 retweets.
Yeah, it could easily be like a very similar show in the current age.
Yeah, I actually think it would work for a reboot, and it could still be in the same universe. Like, Carrie could show up and she'd be like, "Hey, here you can write my column, new girl," and then the new girl would write the column, and that new girl's played by me.
That'd be good. Sex and the City would be so much better if Carrie was replaced by you.
Yeah. Because I'm, as much as a fool that I am, I'm not dating some fucking rich old dude unless if I did do that, trust that I'm securing the bag.
Yeah, no, you gotta. You're smarter than Carrie.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm the Natasha in the situation. I'm marrying him and then divorcing him and then getting all the money because he cheated. Mm-hmm. And I was smart and I signed a prenup and I put a clause in the prenup that said if you cheat on me, I get extra. So I'm taking his ass to court.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like, the whiteness. I think, they would just cast, I think Samantha's the one you could really mess up. Like, everyone else is a bit, I guess maybe, like, if they would just play on stereotypes, I think.
Yeah, Charlotte would definitely say some problematic shit. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they would try to do an episode where they tackle, like, the concept of gender. And I feel like they would do it really poorly because they wouldn't have any writers on the show. They would only have cis writers on the show, probably. And they're like, this is what we think we should be saying. Yeah. And I just feel like it would be, like, halfway good and then halfway just really bad.
Yeah, like one of them would date a gender non-conforming person and be like, what? And it would be a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And what else? Like, I think when it comes to like Stanford and Anthony, like the gay characters in the show, I feel like there would be one of them would be very camp and the other would not. So they can say that they're not making any sort of statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I could see that.
Yeah, like one is obviously very camp, one of them is not. And then they can be like, see, this is what gay people are like. They're either extremely, you know, very like quote unquote straight passing, or they're extremely camp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
There's no in between.
No.
Yep.
And it's like, no, you could just write them as characters and, you know, maybe it'd be interesting to delve into the sort of code switching you do with the different people you're surrounded by. But no, we'll just have everyone be caricatures of whatever ethnicity or minority they might happen to be.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And, like, it would have a little bit more tact than it did in the 90s, I think. But, like, at the same time, there's some things that you can't... That just, like, no matter how you write them, it's, like, it's just going to come off as not very well done. So...
Yeah, I mean, I think with the nature of the show, like, it was trying to be edgy, and it was, at the time, obviously very groundbreaking for, like, how explicitly it spoke about sex and the fact that women enjoyed having sex.
Yeah.
And, you know... So I think, like... there is a difference to how we look at it now and how we look at it 20 years in the past. So, I mean, I think actually, like, the show probably wouldn't be too bad if they rebooted it. It would probably have a couple iffy moments, but not terrible.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, in like 20 years in the future, when we've all got robots and we're all drowning from climate change, then we'll be like, hey, that show was pretty bad. Our daughters... our children can do a sequel, City Girls Make Do 2, Electric Boogaloo. And then,
I can't wait.
You know, they can say it's problematic. And it's fine.
Can't wait to watch it and listen to it.
I mean, Mummy Mailbag 2.0.
Mummy Mailbag 2!
Exactly. With me, you, and the ghost of my mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess that answers our only question.
Yeah, we went on a tangent.
That's fine.
Several.
I guess we can do Patreon now. Do you want to talk about Mummy Mailbag?
Yeah, so this is going to be our first episode out in September, and we had a little chat. It's going to be a bit of a retooling. So we thought, you know, each sort of season, that doesn't make sense. Each month, we could have like a little bit of a, you know, prompts to get you to send in stories or questions or stuff you want us to just discuss and, you know, come to a conclusion about or not, whatever. And yeah, we thought, you know, you could ask us about topics that come up in the episodes, like maybe you have a story that relates to it or something that mirrors your life and you want to fill us in, or you have a question, or you want us to talk about something a bit more in depth. And I guess for this month, like, I know we missed August. August is my mum's birthday. September is my birthday. And we have loads of stories about shit birthdays. Because we kind of are cursed a little bit of, like, having shitty birthdays. But then we have good ones too. But, like, I'm not holding my breath for this year. But yes, we got questions about birthdays, ghosts, the fall, the autumnal season, the equinox, back to school, whatever you feel, whatever comes into your head. But, you know, just, or if you find Yahoos, if you're feeling like a Brooks Oglesby, you want us to tackle the Twitter question of the month, like if you should fucking wash your legs or whatever. I hate that shit.
Just send us all of that, because
yeah,
we need questions, and I think I like the idea of having kind of more focused questions too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you have, I guess we could post like a little topics in Discord or in Twitter or whatever on social media just to have it there in print. But yeah, just ask us questions about whatever comes into your head. Or if you just have more long form questions if you have more of a long form question that's related to one of the episodes that you want us to talk about, then that's the perfect place to send them.
Yep. And yeah,
I think that's it. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at explaining things.
I liked it. So
yeah, it's like midnight. I'm tired.
You're valid. And if you want to listen to the Money Mailbag, you just got to give us at least $1 a month on Patreon. So patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo. $1 gets you that, gets you a role in the Discord, it gets you access to the Looker and Nanu channel. It's really exciting. It's just $1. Or if you want to give us $5, you can submit stuff in Steve voice. You can get your name read on the podcast, and you get all the $1 stuff. So I guess I can read all the $5 donors. We have Mogu, Summer Geist, Jesse Alachi, Siberian Pine Hardwood, Jennifer Snyder, Dan Mike Dawson Silva, new donor. New $5 donor, Matt Ribeiro, and PR the Disaster. So thank you all our $5 donors. We also got a Steve voice from Mike Dawson.
Yeah,
and
thank you. Thank you for donating. Thank you for this Steve voice. It's a lot. It's from Fallout New Vegas, which I've been playing recently, and I gotta say, I love it. It's one of my favorite games. I do love a bit of Fallout New Vegas.
I have never played Fallout before, so I'm just reading this for the first time. I don't even know how it ends because I haven't finished reading it yet. So, I guess I can do some Steve here. So, Pussycat, thanks for showing this cat the best hey-heys ever, Miranda. Talk about platinum in the sack, toots. Where'd you learn that 18-karat trick with the heels of your feet? You didn't just make my toes curl, Miranda. They popped off and rolled under the bed. Why would you send this to me?
This is text from the game. Listen, I will show you a video of Chandler from Friends saying these lines like he has a gun to his head.
I'm gonna scream at the toes popping off. This isn't even the end of it, but why would you send something about toes popping off for me to read? Okay, so here's the rest of it. So, I wish I could stay for another round, Miranda, but this gent's got places to be, things to do. You're showing up has forced my hand, baby. The time to act is now. I won't be around for a while, but if everything works out right, you and me are a date. Got it, Miranda? Wouldn't miss it for all the caps in Vegas. Now don't get clingy and try to follow me. Ciao. Steve.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, there we go. So, I wish I had read it before so I knew about the toes, but...
I'm sorry.
It's
well,
fine.
I'm not. I liked it.
Well, that's good. So that's a $5. At the $10 level, you get all of that, and you can also listen to us record live if you want. And you get an even specialer role in the Discord, where you get to be like you'd be the only person with that color if you were a $10 donor.
You'll be Big Daddy.
Yeah, you'd be big Mr. Big Daddy, and you might even just push us over the edge so that we could record Keanu podcast, because we're at like $45 a month out of $45. We only need a little bit more till we're making Keanu podcast. So, you know.
You know you want it. You know it's my birthday, and I just want to talk about my own private Idaho. I read an entire biography of River Phoenix. I know my fucking shit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll reread the chapter in My Own Private Idaho. It's a lot.
I would read it, because that sounds good as shit. And, God, I want to make this so bad. We gotta make it happen. So,
Please.
Patreon,
water us.
Water us so we can water you. We love the money that you give us and your support. So thank you to all our patrons. That's it for this week. That's all our Patreon. That's all our questions. So yeah, podcast. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm Age of Oddish, and if you want to follow me on Tumblr, I can't speak words, but I'm Windfall Island there.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm Alex the Virgo, and if you want to follow me on Tumblr, I'm Dork Phoenix.
Fucking hell yeah, you are. It's Virgo season, and you're just at your peak power, and I love to see it. And but yeah, thanks for listening to our ghost podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Ooh, mow hay every day. Fuck cops. Blue lives don't matter. Blue lives don't matter. Boo lives don't matter.
Bye.
Bye.